I have been informed that my announcement has been deemed disrespectful.
Listen up, Dwayne, you bald fraud!
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the greatest of all time!
Seth Rollins, I'm coming for you, boy. And I'm coming hard.
I am a visionary! I am a revolutionary!
The never seen 17!
Look at you now, boy! Ah! Look at you now! 4 letters, 1 word.
Last real champion, John Cena!
What's up, everybody? We are back with another live episode of Wrestling with Ryan and Mike.
Going on,
Coming at
Ryan?
you post Wrestlemania 42 edition.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. How are you, my guy?
My guy, look it. Life is peachy. We are post WrestleMania now. We are post Monday Night Raw, the Raw after WrestleMania. And look it, things have been shaken up in the world of WWE. Things have been shaken up post WrestleMania. And this is why we're here. This is why we're talking about this. This is why we're recording today, Ryan, on another edition of Wrestling with
Yeah.
Ryan and Mike.
Yes, sir. I know we did. I know we immediately gave our reactions after night one
Mm-hmm.
that we were supposed to do after night two, but
Hey, look
we're
it.
back now.
Life happens. Drinks happen.
Mike had a little too much fun on
Exactly.
night two, a little too much.
Exactly.
But he made it. As you can see, he's alive.
Mm-hmm. I'm here and
He's
alive.
barely, but he's alive.
And work has caught up with me. We're supposed to do Monday or Tuesday, but work just got really, really
It's all
busy.
good. Hey, we're still here. We're still making it work.
Exactly.
We're
But
here.
it's okay because it works out in our favor because now we can talk about the post edition of Monday Night
Raw
Raw.
after Mania. Yeah, the
Mhm.
Raw after Mania, which actually was actually not too bad of an episode.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't bad. It was a good episode.
It's not like what it was before in the past.
And
Before the
I don't
past,
think it ever is going to be like it was in the past.
it was always like the night after Mania. Who's going to return? What? Who are you going to see? NXT call-ups, and we did see some NXT
Yeah,
call-ups.
we did, and then it's also like, oh, what a unique chant are we gonna hear? Because usually the night after Mania is when we hear unique chants we like never hear.
Right. And I think
Um,
that was really only exclusive with that one year when they're in New Jersey. And
the
I think,
2013.
yeah, 2013.
Yeah.
When they're- yeah,
The John Cena heel turn.
yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
And then when they were,
that one is probably like the best of the best in terms of the Raw after Mania.
and then when they were doing the Fandango,
Oh yeah, Fandangoing.
yeah,
Yeah.
da 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 da
Yeah.
da da.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it doesn't hit the same, but it's okay because it's a different product
right.
today. But I
Well,
still
it's a
think it
much
was a
different
good.
product.
I still think it was a good episode. You still had some surprises.
Hmm.
Like we saw the Street Profits return
It was good to see them. I mean, I can't
after
remember the last
months
time they were on
after
TV.
months away. Yeah, after months away. But it was also good to see, especially after the Bianca Belair announcement. So it's nice to see that Montez is like, okay, I got to come back to work because I got another mouth to feed.
Well, Montez, like I said on that Saturday edition of our when we recorded live, he did not proceed with caution.
He did not. He did not. He's back in shape now. He's
Yeah.
back in shape. I don't know if you saw those photos of when Montez was a little on the chunky side. I don't know if you saw those.
No, I didn't see those.
Yeah, no, it was a NXT live event, I think.
Mhm.
And it was the Street Profits and Montez was like a little chunky.
Oh,
But
really?
he's back in shape now. And as we see, Angelo Dawkins is actually pretty well in shape now too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they both look great. They got a nice pop from the crowd, so you can tell the crowd definitely is glad to have them back. It's good to see the Street Profits back because they are very talented. They're probably one of the better tag teams in the division, and I do think the tag division needs a bit of a pick me up.
Hmm.
So hopefully the Street Profits can provide a spark that the tag team division needs. Would be really cool to see the Usos versus the Street Profits. That would be a banger.
I feel like we've seen that on,
We
in
have,
years
we
past.
have. I was actually there. It was a Money in the Bank
It
in Las
was,
Vegas,
yeah.
and man, that match was. I when I tell you that was one of the better tag team matches I've seen, it was. That was
Mhm.
probably the best tag team match I saw until we were at WrestleMania 39.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that'd be great if they could run it back. Um. So, but yeah. So there's
Yeah.
that. Let's get into night two of WrestleMania.
Obviously, the big news of WrestleMania. I mean, you had the main event, right? But we're gonna get to later. But the other big news coming out of WrestleMania Night 2 is the retirement of Brock Lesnar. Nobody saw that coming.
Yes, and one thing that the fans noticed is he threw up the X after, which
Mhm.
indicates something is like legit and not, not a work.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
and I
know they
think
still I know they still say his future is uncertain, but I think it's just because deep down they want Gunther to retire him, but I think this is Brock's way of saying no.
yeah. I think this really caught off Paul Heyman by surprise too. Because you look at the reaction of Paul Heyman, I mean, he's welling up with tears.
Yeah, we never see Paul Heyman like that. It takes a lot for Paul Heyman to break character.
Right.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and even for Brock to break character,
Right.
so but
Exactly.
he got a lot of thank you Brock chants, and it was I told you I was like, hey, it's kind of cool to just see Brock being Brock and not being like the character, just Brock being like human Brock.
For sure, definitely. He wasn't portraying a character. Not that Brock Lesnar is. It isn't really. He's not really. I mean, throughout his whole career, he was never really portraying a character, right? Brock Lesnar was the guy that you saw on television was just an amped up version of the guy that you probably see in real life, more amped up, badass version. Brock Lesnar is never portraying a character per se, but he wasn't trying to come off as, intimidating. He wasn't trying to come off as anything but genuine in that moment. And you could tell it was, getting to him. Even he had some tears in his eyes. And it was an emotional moment because nobody expected Brock Lesnar to take off his gloves. Nobody expected Brock Lesnar to, untie his boots, unlace them up. As Ryan is chowing down on some fruity pebbles right now.
But I know we certainly weren't expecting Brock to do that.
Yeah,
Um, but it was good to see Brock put Oba over. I know the match was short, but I even said I was like, it worked for them.
it did.
For
It,
Oba and Brock, it worked for them. It solidifies Oba as, you know, the next like big man. And remember what we've been saying over the past few episodes, how WWE has struggled to build new stars. This was There was no better way they could have built Oba Femi than having him beat Brock Lesnar. So I feel like this was a great way for them to build up Oba Femi as like the future.
yeah. I mean, they did everything correct building up this the foundation to build up to this match to WrestleMania between Brock Lesnar and Obafemi. I mean, they had no misstep. And all they had to do was stick the landing in terms of the execution on Obafemi beating Brock Lesnar, and they did the right thing. They had him beat Brock square right in the middle of the ring, and that was the right decision to make. Now
Yeah.
Oba is a bigger star out of it. It is. You see the trajectory that Oba's going to be on. I mean, he is going to be world champion. I'm predicting that
SummerSlam.
he's going to beat Roman for the title.
Because they already teased, especially in the post show. He already says, "Hey, if Roman Reigns wants some, he can come get some."
Right.
And then Roman responded to Oba, be like, "Hey, you ain't ready," but he's like, "We'll see what you do this summer, then you get back to me." So I think that's the SummerSlam match. I think Oba Femi's winning King of the Ring. If they do it this year,
Yeah.
because we know the past couple years, the winners of the King and Queen of the Ring get their respective title match at SummerSlam.
Hmm.
I think Oba should win King of the Ring, and then Oba Femi wins the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, it's going to be the slow build up. I mean, they're not going to put the title on him, at Backlash, but it's going to be something that you're going to slowly build up
Yeah.
to SummerSlam, and that's going to be a huge night two main
Well,
event for SummerSlam.
speaking of Backlash, we are getting Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns, which I know it has been a dream match, since Jacob Fatu came into WWE. So it'll be very interesting to see how that match turns out.
Yeah, skipping. Well, we're gonna skip ahead a little bit. Jacob Fatu is now challenging Roman Reigns for the world title. Um, we can get to that in a little bit. But let's go back into WrestleMania. What were some other highlights that you felt like were that stood out from WrestleMania?
Well, I feel like we gotta talk about the main event. Like
Right.
that main event it went like 35 minutes, rightfully so. Punk came out to the old Ring of Honor theme, which was really cool because that's now back-to-back WrestleManias where he's come out to an old theme song.
Hmm.
'Cause last year they played this Fire Burns in the promo package, and then this year he came out to the Ring of Honor theme. So, but yeah, that main event, man, cool. What a main event it was.
It was exactly what they needed for night two of WrestleMania. I mean, night one, we talked about it, was such dog shit. It really was.
Night two blew night one out of the
It
water.
is it's
And I told you, I was like, after two matches, night two blew night one out of the water because you had Oba, Brock, and then the IC title ladder match. Which is, oh my god, that match itself was.
That was the spot fest right
We'll
there.
we'll get more into that match in a second. But yeah, that
Yeah. Look, in that main event, you had it was about two guys telling a story. CM Punk, Roman Reigns, telling their story of why they hated each other. The build up, that was the build up to it. It wasn't about necessarily the world title, even though it was for the world title, as Brian again chows down on some fruity pebbles. Uh, um, it was about the two guys that have been the face of the company at certain points, coming to this like a clash, and really just portraying their hatred for each other. And you know what? It wasn't built upon McAfee Gaga. It wasn't built upon Jelly Roll. It wasn't built upon any other bullshit that you saw
had
on
no
night number
celebrity
one.
involvement. It was genuinely just
It was
two
wrestling.
wrestlers who despise each other. And look, they came out, they delivered a masterpiece. I think the match exceeded expectations because even I said I was like, hey, the match looks great on paper, but I said I was like, I don't think the match is going to be what they expect it to be. And no, it delivered. So I give props to both men. There were some sick spots, even though Roman should have been disqualified, but.
Right.
It's a big match field, it's a main event, so of course the referee's going to allow for some leeway, which is totally understandable.
Right.
That's why I don't think fans were like too upset of the fact that like, wait, that should be a DQ. It's like, come on, it's the main event. You really you want to end the match that way at WrestleMania?
Yeah, no, that was never gonna happen.
So I could see why people were like, oh, that's a DQ. It's like, yeah, it is, but it's also like it's the main event. Like.
Look,
It's understandable why the ref is like, oh, okay, all right, I'll let it go. But then if you do it again, then that's a different story.
look, it's not even about that. There's things in wrestling that are always overlooked. Always, you know?
But yeah,
It,
we've said it in the past. They never follow the same rules that they do. Like the whole thing with like, oh, when you're in a submission, the whole like, oh, it's three or oh, it's one or it's just like that they never really follow a strict,
yeah.
you
Look,
know.
I mean, in wrestling, especially in WWE, I mean, things are like you'll get a disqualification for one thing one day, and then you can do something else that's even more drastic, and then the ref will overlook it. Like what? There is no playbook that these referees that the company follows. They make it up as they go. And that's certainly what you saw on display at WrestleMania. It was not a non-disqualification match. It was just a straight up wrestling match. But I did want to make this point in terms of the main event for WrestleMania. Look it was a pro wrestling match at its core, and that's exactly what they needed in order to make this work. And that's what they did. Punk and Roman you could tell they truly care about, giving the fans what they want because the fans did not fucking care about Pat McAfee. They did not care about Jelly Roll. They came off so bad night one for Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. And I hope that
And
TKO.
so the bar was low in terms of the quality of the main event, and so Roman and Punk were like, all right, well, if that's the bar, let's exceed that bar, and they did.
Right. Exactly.
Even
And
though
I
Pat
felt bad.
McAfee was the best part, so
What's that?
I said Pat McAfee was the best
No,
part of the
God, get
night
out of
one main
here. Get out
event.
of here. Stop with that
So
nonsense. Stop. Go eat your fruity pebbles if you're gonna start eating that.
that's why we got a survey asking, well, we missed you at WWE World. We want to know why. I was like, yeah, because you didn't have Pat McAfee part of it.
Oh God. Yes, let's talk about that. We just got emails saying we missed you at WWE World. You know why people didn't want to go? One, you overpriced them out, and two,
And it's the fact that you gotta buy a ticket for WWE World, and then you gotta buy a separate ticket for a meet and greet photo or autograph.
it used to be if you buy a meet and greet, you can get into WWE World for free,
Yeah,
or at least yeah.
it counted toward admission. Yeah,
hmm Now it's not like that. They look, man, WWE, and we've gone on tangents before about how much they try to milk and their greed just overtakes people. But man, you got to pay. They nickel and dime you for every little thing now. Look at how much advertisements are on WrestleMania. That was one of the sickening things about WrestleMania this year too, was how much advertisements that we saw. Not just in the ring. I mean, look at the ring. The ring had like 8 to 10 advertisements on it alone.
and then
But
even when people were watching, it says commercial break in progress. It's like this is WrestleMania.
yeah, you
Like,
would.
like I understand if you have like one or two ad breaks, because that's understandable.
hmm
But like you're gonna have like 10 ad breaks at WrestleMania, and there was like ads in between every match.
Yeah, this is just the way it is now, and it's really really hard to watch. It really is. And when you go there to these live events, you know that the crowd is just sitting there and as they play something on the screens and the arena is being darkened out. That's not fun to watch. Even though it's a bathroom break, that's not fun to watch. Nobody wants to sit there through, when you're sitting there in the crowd in a darkened arena while something plays on the screen.
Yeah, see, and then it's different because like we've been there, like when we were at WrestleMania 39, it's different when like one of those like, oh, where they go dark is them announcing where WrestleMania is going to be at the next year. Because like when we went to 39, one of the things they advertised is, oh, WrestleMania 40 is going to be in Philly.
hmm
If it's something like that, it's understandable because like no, it relates to the product that it gets you looking forward to the next year.
hmm
Because that's one thing everybody asks is like, oh, where is it going to be next year? Like we already know where WrestleMania is going to be at next year. Um,
Yeah. Look, just the advertisements alone, man, it's such a different company now. It's such the way they operate is so different. And taking that back into like why people didn't go to WWE World, it's because you priced them out of going to WrestleMania. You priced them out. Vegas alone is so expensive.
and and from what I heard, I don't know if you saw, apparently the TKO president told somebody from the University of Alabama that TKO has creative control. So Triple H no longer has complete control over creative.
No, that's very, very obvious. Very obvious on a lot of different parts, especially looking at that the
And
way that night.
he said the new norm is going to be they're going to get more celebrities involved. He says that's going to be the new normal.
Oh well, look, that could be the case, and they're gonna find out, if they haven't already found out that people will hate it. People are going to hate it. It's one thing for these celebrities to be involved if they're not consistently involved in these storylines. Like if they're just in the crowd or whatever, that's fine. But they cannot be consistently involved in these storylines. And it's really just it makes the product watered down and it makes these storylines just it makes it such convoluted storylines. It's really hard to watch.
Especially you know, when you have a guy like Randy Orton become basically like a secondary character in his own feud.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's it makes these look at how good WrestleMania night one could have been if Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee were not involved.
I didn't hate the Jelly Roll spot. He just did the put McAfee
You
through a
know,
table, and that was it.
Jelly Roll was very minimal at night at WrestleMania this
Which
year,
you
and
were fine with. You,
I
even
was
you
fine
said
with.
you said you're like, okay, if it's like that, it's fine.
Right.
But you're
Exactly.
like, oh, but it was before when they actually had him like involved. That was different.
Right. Yeah. But Pat McAfee, I mean, he's not Pat McAfee is a family member of WWE, right? He's in the company. He's a broadcaster. So it's not like he's a celebrity, like
A
outside
needle
celebrity
mover.
per se.
He's a needle mover.
Oh God, get out of
He
here.
is a needle mover.
Stop with that nonsense. Go eat
So
your
we
fruity
so
pebbles.
so this is what we're going to see next year at the Royal Rumble. Pat McAfee's winning the Rumble, and he's going to beat Cody for the
Get
WWE.
out of here. Stop with that nonsense. You just love to trigger me, don't you? You just love to trigger me
It's
with this
easy. It's
with
easy.
that
It's fun.
complete asinine comments, asinine predictions.
No. Pat McAfee says he put wrestling in the rearview mirror.
If he comes back and commentates, that's fine, but I don't want to see him doing what he did at WrestleMania. That was just complete horseshit. Anyways, going back, we're kind of all over the place here.
Yeah. So anyway, so back to night two. So the main event was great. We have a new United States champion in Trick Willie.
hmm He came
Well,
out looking like he had a bunch of toilet paper stuck to.
and then he
Yeah,
sent me that meme on Instagram of what was it, a receipt?
the receipt. Yeah, yeah, the CVS receipt.
um, but
Yeah.
yeah, the match was eh. The match was okay.
Well, it's really setting up. I mean, look, everyone thought that the match between Trick Williams and Sami Zayn that there was going to be a double turn. But they really don't need to do a double turn anymore because why? Look at Trick Williams is absolutely the babyface in this program.
He got so naturally over. I think got to a point they're like, okay, yeah, this guy's a baby face now. Like he didn't even turn.
Dude,
He's naturally over.
when he won the title, I remember seeing him like look around into the stadium and everybody was chanting "Whoop that trick." Everybody
We
was
were.
going crazy.
Yeah, we
And
were in the living room. We were just saying,
whoop
"Whoop that
that
trick."
trick. But he's a star. And Sami Zayn's not like a hated heel or whatever. But I actually, in comparison, and I actually really do want to see this for Sami Zayn. Back in 1997, Bret the Hitman Hart snapped on Raw.
Oh,
Bret Hart crashed out because he had been screwed over, screwed over, screwed over. And this is the infamous cage match between him and Sid, where he just snapped and he pushed down. And this is the first time that you saw Vince McMahon ever get physical in the company, where Bret pushed him on live on after Monday Night Raw, and he said, "This is bullshit." Uh, he's getting screwed over. He's snapping, and I feel like Sami Zayn is on that verge right there. He's really. I think we could possibly see like a Bret Hart type of heel run with Sami Zayn. And I don't know if they're gonna go full like Hart Foundation where they're talking shit about America, but I would think that'd be really cool because it would be almost the same way where, I think he could pull it off.
yeah, he could. I mean, we've seen glimpses of it already where he like crashes out because he's telling Cody, be like, "Oh, look, another thing going your way."
Yeah.
Look at Cody always getting what he wants.
Right.
So
Exactly.
yeah, and I think Sammy is due for a heel turn because his time as a babyface, feel like it's run its course. It's gotten stale. It's done nothing new for him. He's still the whole like underdog. It's like not an underdog no more. Um, like, do I think he's eventually going to win the world title? Yeah, but I feel like he needs to go through drastic change first,
hmm
and he has to get built back up to being a world title contender.
And I think this is the perfect thing for him. I think if you were to put him in a full-fledged heel run, where it's not just like kind of he's acting like a baby face and he gets booed and he's like, "What did I do, guys?" No, he needs to go full blown with this, where he's cussing out the American audience. It's almost like, dude, you need to channel your inner Bret Hart, 97 Bret Hart here, where he's just full Canada, but screw America. And he's just kind of just whining and complaining, but he's being a direct heel about it. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, no, and I think for someone like Sammy it would work, especially because not to say because he's American, but it's also the fact that he is Canadian.
Right,
So it's like it would kind of, you know, make sense. It's like, oh, I go to these international crowds, they love me, and then when I'm here in America, y'all hate me.
right, exactly. Man, that'd be great. That'd be really great, I think, to see on WWE television. I think that'd be really great for SmackDown. Because SmackDown, we could talk about what to expect on SmackDown in a bit, but SmackDown it really needs compelling storylines. And if you put Sami Zayn in a storyline like that, I think that would just do wonders for his character. I think it would do wonders for the overall product. And I think that's how you get Sami Zayn into being a world champion. You know?
Yeah, 'cause I think it's inevitable that Sammy is going to be a world champion because they keep reiterating, oh, he's won every title but the world title.
Right,
So like it's inevitable.
right, exactly.
Um, but yeah, so then what else happened on? Of course, we had the Intercontinental Championship ladder match, and oh, that match was
Well, yeah.
crazy. We saw a fantastic OG cutter.
Hmm.
A couple Mexican destroyers. We saw old man Ray
Yeah.
still putting in the work.
Hmm.
And Penta retains, which was the right call because I think Penta is hot right now and he need to continue his momentum. But that was a very very solid match, a fun match, a great match. I'm glad they put who they put in for it
Hmm.
because it definitely helped the match. So Penta's the right winner. So yeah, and then what else happened on night two?
You had Finn Balor, the Demon, return.
That's right. That's right. The
Yeah, the
demon came
Demon.
back, and the demon won as
Yeah.
he should have.
He snapped his 2 game losing streak, 2 match losing streak. He beat Dominic Mysterio, non-title match. Um, yeah, it was a good win for the Demon, and who knows if we see the Demon going forward in the future. But this is like kind of a restart for Finn Balor. He showed up on Raw looking like 2016
OG,
Finn
the
Balor,
OG Finn Balor, yeah.
trimmed down beard, little smooth haircut there. Looked
The
good.
trunks.
The trunks, yeah, look like Balor Club Finn Balor there. And yeah, yeah, no, I think hopefully hopefully this is something where Finn Balor is kind of pushed into that main event scene on Monday Night Raw. And this is a continuous push for him. The last thing you want to see is Finn Balor just kind of toil into the mid card still. I think if you're gonna have Finn Balor be a babyface where he's back to being Finn Balor the way we all love and knew Finn Balor, he needs to be pushed into that main event scene. Now, I don't know if he's if ever gonna be in if he's gonna win the world title again. Obviously, with Roman Reigns, that's definitely not looking possible at all. But if Finn Balor can be a top tier babyface on Monday Night Raw, consistently in the main events, I think that's where you want Finn Balor to be because he's still a big draw. He's still a big time player. I think, he still has a lot to contribute. I think just, you don't want to see Finn Balor toil into the mid card the way they were doing my boy the last several years. I think now this is the perfect opportunity for him to continuously be a big time name in WWE for however long his contract is, and just utilize him being, a big time player. And I think we're obviously seeing a youth push in WWE. Get him going against younger guys, but continuously putting him over. I think that would be great.
Yeah, no, I love seeing this Finn. This is the Finn that, this is like the Finn he is right now, like the OG Finn, like the one the one you say that we know and love. This was the Finn that won the Universal title, and this is the same Finn that beat Roman Reigns clean.
Hmm.
Um, so of course, I'm not saying he's going to beat Roman Reigns for the world title, but I think it's a good step in the right direction. And do I think Finn could be world champ? I honestly I do think he could if they keep him hot and they push him consistently, like you says.
I
If they
mean,
push him consistently and he gets moved into the main event scene, and instead of like hovering around the mid card scene, I do see Finn being back in world championship contention.
I do too, but obviously with Roman Reigns, the next guy the guy that's gonna take the title off of Roman Reigns is Obafemi, and they're damn sure not gonna have Finn Balor
Yeah,
either beat Roman Reigns or
because again,
Obafemi.
then it's going to be one of those things like, okay, who's going to take it off Obafemi?
Right.
You know,
It's not
so
gonna be
but,
Finn Balor. I'll tell you
yeah,
that much.
but hopefully this is a step in the right direction for Finn.
Hmm.
And, hopefully we do see a more consistent push for him. So even if he wins the Intercontinental title, hey, that's something at least
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
because he
I
hasn't
could
held a
definitely see
single.
that.
Yeah, because he hasn't held a singles championship in quite some time.
Yeah, exactly. So I could definitely see that. I could definitely see him being Intercontinental Champion, taking that title off Penta, but also being in that upper main event status. I think that's where you want him to be.
Do you think would you I would consider Finn a dark horse for Money in the Bank this year.
Yeah.
Not
Uh,
that he's gonna win it, but I would consider him a dark horse.
I think he'll be in the match. I don't think he'll win it though. But yeah, it's all possible. It's all possible. But yeah, other than that, look at we talked about the main event extensively already. Look, going into that main event, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, man, the two guys just laid it out all on the line there, and that was exactly what WWE needed in terms of a main event for their night two WrestleMania. It was just as pure of a wrestling match as you can get between pro wrestling match in terms of building that story, utilizing their psychology. Their psychology was amazing during that match. It was just really just the attrition,
It,
between
it was really a 50-50 matchup, and it's rare to have, 50-50 matchup like, oh, it could go either way. They really did look like it could go either way. So yeah, props to them. The match went like 30, I think the match was like 33 minutes, which was well deserved. By far the longest match of the entire weekend,
right,
especially because night one had awfully short matches.
exactly. Yeah,
But also to go back to kind of we talked about the main event. Let's talk about Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill, which I think we saw Jade Cargill's best match on the main roster to date.
yeah,
It definitely looks like she's improved. We know Rhea's capable of putting on great matches. We've seen her do it with the best of them, and so I think to date this was Jade Cargill's best match. I know this match was a little over 10 minutes, but it was exciting. It was back and forth. Of course, Mommy won the title, which I think came to no surprise. Um, so yeah, so I got to give props to Jade because I do think since she's come to WWE, I think that was her best match.
I think so too. And you can tell she's been putting in the work, extensively at the training
Performance
facility.
center, yeah,
Yeah,
performance center, yeah.
yeah, and
So
then
I know she got she's got a lot of smack for her in ring work, and then for this only being what her second title defense.
right, yeah,
But someone like Rhea deserves it. I definitely think especially with Rhea going to SmackDown, which I think is going to be a big boost for SmackDown
yeah.
because SmackDown needs it. So I think Rhea going to SmackDown is huge. I think it's going to help SmackDown in the long run, especially in the women's division.
Hmm.
Because it gives you the possibility of Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, Jordan Grace, Rhea Ripley. It opens the door for matches that we have really seen before. And I think it'll be nice because I do think Rhea is going to be, a fighting champion. We're going to see her every week, or she might wrestle every week. So I think it's going to be, I think it's a big thing for SmackDown moving forward to have Rhea Ripley on the brand.
I think so too. SmackDown needs it. Man, it really needed a shakeup in terms of new stars on there, new storyline directions, and I think Rhea Ripley being full time on SmackDown will definitely help. Because Rhea Ripley is, if not the biggest female superstar in WWE, as we talk about.
Yeah, and also SmackDown hasn't really had a top tier like babyface woman since like Tiffany Stratton last year.
Right.
Um, so I think it'll be nice to see Rhea being on SmackDown, I think it's much needed, and so it'll be interesting to see who's next for Rhea.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It could be Tiffany. It could be somebody like that. We'll see.
Or they run it back with Jade again.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they could definitely. But yeah, what kind of grade would you give WrestleMania Night 2 this year?
Night two, honestly, I give night two an A.
Yeah.
I give it an A. I think it's deserved. It was by far the better night. And we were even saying we're like, hey, if we had gone to WrestleMania, we're like we probably would have gone to night two.
Yeah.
If we had gone, I know we were talking about it. We were like, if we had gone, probably would have only gone to one night, but night two probably would have been the night we chose, and I feel like that probably would have been the best move. But I give night two an A. I thought all the matches were solid. I thought the overall feel of it. Night two actually felt like WrestleMania.
It did. It really
You know,
did. As opposed to
night one just felt like your typical Raw and SmackDown, but night two actually felt like WrestleMania.
even the way Night 1 went off the air. I mean, obviously it was a big angle with Randy Orton punting Cody Rhodes in the eye, and my God, did he land that shot? Cody
Yeah,
Rhodes' eye was
because we
freaking
saw we saw
horrible.
Cody's eye on Raw.
But they don't ever end WrestleMania with an angle like that. WrestleMania is not supposed to end with an angle. WrestleMania is supposed to end with a big win.
Yeah, you don't want a cliffhanger.
You don't want a cliffhanger at
Like
all
like
for
like
WrestleMania.
last year, Cena won 17, and that's how it ended. It's like, okay, that's fine. He broke the record. That was the big win,
Right.
big
Exactly.
moment. Yeah, okay, whatever. You say what you want about Travis Scott, but it's like that was the big win. It's like that's how you end WrestleMania.
Yeah. And look, I don't know if they're gonna go forward in terms of like making night one lesser and making night two the better of the two, but they need to do better in terms of booking night one because this night one was absolutely garbage. It was just nothing that you would ever think that WrestleMania is supposed to be. And night two, they put all their chips in the table for night two,
They
and it
had
paid
all
off.
the big matches were on night two.
Yeah, it paid off, but it just felt like, man, night two was an A, and night one, besides Seth and Gunther, I can't give it an F because Seth and Gunther, but man, it was like a D. Truth be
Yeah,
told, if
yeah,
you are
but
being very generous, if you give it a C minus.
but I do think night two like essentially saved the weekend. I won't say saved the show, but I definitely think night two like definitely helped it. In terms of I will say I definitely do think because of night two alone that this year's WrestleMania was better than last year's. Not by much, but I do think this year's was a bit better than last year's.
Hmm.
Aside from maybe a few moments, but
I don't know. I think I will still give the edge of. It's weird because I think like the night one was better last year. I think.
night one was better last year.
Yeah, yeah. If I'm trying to remember correctly,
The
night one
night
was.
one main event was better last year. The
Yeah.
night two main event was better this year.
Right. Yeah. It does just I don't know. Yeah. I think night two for sure was just hands down better than anything that we saw last year. It's hard to say, but
And night two, the way night two was, it's like if they could book like that consistently, WWE could it could has would have a great product going if they can book like that consistently, like how night two was.
well, look, you want to be able to grade these things as a total, right? As it being combined. You don't want to say night one was this way and night two was that way. You want to be able to say that consistently they had on two great shows. And it's
Like
just
look
so
like
puzzling.
like like look at 39 and 40, two nights, both were great.
Hmm.
Both were great. 39 and 40, both great.
Yep,
Both great.
exactly.
And then 41 and 42, it's like you separated because it's obvious that there was one night better than the other.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Well, night WrestleMania is in the books now. We look forward. Well, we didn't look forward. We are looking forward to SmackDown, but then we had Monday Night Raw the next night. What'd you think of Raw, the Mania after Raw?
I thought like we had discussed, it doesn't hit the same like as in previous years, but I still think it was, good for what it was. We did see a few surprises. Like I said, the Street Profits came back. We saw NXT call-ups, Ethan Page,
Hmm.
Sol Ruka,
Yeah,
Joe Hendry.
yeah. Which is weird because the last night, or yeah, was it last night? Joe Hendry got taken out.
Joe Hendry got taken out. Sol Ruka
Yeah,
lost the last one, but I figured that's typical because it's like, okay, Sol Ruka's off to the main roster now,
right.
and it's
Yeah,
like there would be no need for her to win
right,
her last match in NXT because like what's the point?
right.
Um, so hopefully, because those are some big names. So hopefully SmackDown gets some big names in return because I definitely think SmackDown needs it.
Yeah.
Uh, that's why I said I could see someone like a JC Jane getting the call up
Mhm.
to SmackDown.
Right.
I could potentially see Blake Monroe going to SmackDown.
I think Ricky Starks will be on SmackDown.
Ricky Saints to SmackDown would be.
Yeah.
I think he'd be perfect for SmackDown.
Yeah. It's the right time to call these guys up. And SmackDown needs fresh blood.
Yeah, and I definitely think having somebody like JC Jane would be great for the women's division. Um, Ricky Saints would be great for the men's division, and then Blake Monroe I think would be a solid addition as well.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see who gets called up from NXT to SmackDown
Yep.
this coming Friday, and they've made it more of a bigger deal the last couple years. The SmackDown After Mania, but it's the SmackDown After Mania the last couple years actually has been pretty solid. I would say it has a pretty solid track record
Yeah.
as of late with the SmackDown After Mania. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens on SmackDown.
It's interesting because a lot of people are talking about them putting on a draft this year. WWE does not need a draft. They have consistently, those drafts have been terrible. The last
You
one
can
was
do a shakeup.
awful. You could do
Like
shit.
if Jacob's on Raw now, it makes sense. Makes perfect sense for Jacob to be on Raw now.
Right. I think this is the opportunity for you to just start switching guys over. I'm not talking about a lot of guys, but here and there. Like if Jacob's on Raw now, this is an opportunity to have one of the Raw guys go to SmackDown. And you don't need to have like a big shakeup or draft to announce it. They just show
Yeah,
up.
just be like, hey, yeah, I'm officially on the SmackDown roster now, or whatever the case may be.
One name that I think that you might start seeing, or it was going to be on SmackDown, is CM Punk.
Yeah, especially because they just teased him having a match with Cody.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I think Punk a lot of people may not remember in his first run, Punk was more known for being a SmackDown guy.
Yeah, he was.
Prior to 2011, he was primarily a SmackDown guy.
He was. But SmackDown, again, they need a superstar like CM Punk
And
badly.
I think Punk would add so much value to SmackDown, especially because he's a guy. It's like, yeah, he may not wrestle every week, but he's there every week. And then
Hmm.
if he does wrestle on occasion, like, oh, he's gonna, deliver. So I think it'd be great if Punk was on SmackDown.
And also, Roman Reigns is back to being full time, at least through the summer now. So none of
I'll
this
believe
part
it when I
time
see
tribal
it.
chief
I'll
stuff.
believe it when I see
What do
it.
you mean? He's going to be on Raw next week.
I'll
We are
believe it
already
when I
seeing
see
it.
it. Yeah,
We're
okay,
already.
he'll be on next week, but we don't know what's beyond next week.
Oh, was your goat full time like that?
He was consistent. That's all that matters.
Oh, Roman Reigns will be
He
consistent.
defended his title.
Yeah, it'll be the same thing for Roman for our tribal chief.
Oh, shut up. Don't keep acknowledging him. We all keep acknowledging that fake ass Nepo baby overrated Samoan fake ass tribal chief.
Put him up.
No, I
Put
will
him up.
not.
Put him up.
No,
Acknowledge him. But
no,
what I was trying
never.
to say is, look at the Monday Night Raw is now the Bloodline show again. We were obviously, they don't need to make a big deal out of it. The Bloodline is back together.
They
The
better
Usos,
as long as okay. If they don't repeat the story, I'm okay with it. If it's one of those things like Roman doesn't have them coming out every week, having them help. If they
and
if
that's the
they
thing.
if they add like new like twists into it, then I'm okay with it. But if they just copy and paste what they did on SmackDown, it's like, okay, well then what was then why did you even break up the bloodline in the first place?
So they can push Jey Uso. But look at You know, the Bloodline is seemingly back together now. It's going to be the Bloodline running Monday Night Raw. You're gonna have to have CM Punk on SmackDown to really boost that show. Now that Jacob is a part of Monday Night Raw too, it's really going to be the Bloodline show.
Well, it looks like they're doing it. It may be a little different, but it looks like they're doing the same thing where how Jay wouldn't acknowledge Roman, but Jimmy did. And now it'll be one of those things. Jacob doesn't acknowledge Roman. It'll be like, oh, but if I beat you, then you have to acknowledge me.
hmm Yeah, yeah, we'll see. So yeah, the match
But
that's anticipated now.
hopefully, Backlash it's and new.
Well,
So
it's anticipated. They haven't made it official yet, but it's going to be Jacob Fatu in line to face Roman Reigns. The first challenger of Roman Reigns' World Heavyweight title reign here. Yeah, obviously they're not taking the title off of Roman
they
Reigns so
should.
quickly.
They should. It should be and new World Heavyweight Champion.
They're not doing that. They're not doing that.
But they should.
They're not doing that. You know better. You know better. They're not doing that. But it'll. I think the reasons for this is just to propel Jacob into that main event status. To continue to do that. But it'll be interesting because we all know Jacob's not winning. Do they have him just be another part of the bloodline? Do they go separate ways? Like how do they configure this? Because it's an
Yeah,
interesting choice to have Jacob challenge Roman.
yeah, it'll be interesting. Especially because it's like he just beat Drew, and it's one of those things. It's like not to discredit Jacob, but it's like what has Jacob done, to earn, a world title match.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see how they play into that. And
Right.
even Roman's like, I'm giving you a week to think about if this is what you really want.
Yeah. I know Jacob saying that he wants the bigger house, the more money, the better schools for his
We
kids.
all do. We all do.
Right. Well, this is, in storyline, that's the opportunity for Jacob Fatu to have that if he were to beat Roman Reigns. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they go about in terms of booking Jacob Fatu because he's obviously not going to win the world title at Backlash, but how do they book him going forward? So we'll see.
Are they gonna book him as a monster? Are they gonna, keep him in like the world title picture?
Yeah. We'll see. Another interesting note is how long is Cody Rhodes going to be out of action? Obviously, he got kicked in the skull. He's still
And
not medically cleared to compete.
and it looks pretty gnarly.
Yeah, that was not makeup there. I think that was fully that big old bruise on his eye was completely real. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how long Cody's out of action. I don't know if he had a concussion or not coming out of that. It looked really bad, you know.
From what I've heard, he doesn't have to relinquish the title, which makes me think like he shouldn't be out for too long.
Right.
Um, but also it's one of those things like it's Cody. They're not gonna make him relinquish it unless it's like he's gonna be out for like a year or
Unless
something.
he has to have surgery or something.
Yeah, or if it's one of those things like, oh, he'll be out for like six to 9 months or longer.
Right. Exactly. But
But it's
yeah,
one of those things is like, okay, yeah, he may not be medically cleared. It's obvious he's still gonna show up. He's still gonna be on SmackDown every week.
right. Exactly. But yeah, that was WrestleMania night 2. That was Monday Night Raw, the Raw after Mania. Any last words to summarize everything up?
Just their biggest time of the year has officially passed. Hopefully, we start seeing, you know, better creative going forward. Um, but it's not likely now that we know TKO has a big say in creative now. Um,
Look, WWE did a piss poor job in building towards this WrestleMania. It was not great. Night 2 certainly delivered, but night 1 didn't. And so it's the battle between the devil and Jesus here, like which way is it gonna go? Is it gonna swing? Is it just gonna continue to be run poorly, or are things gonna get better here? Do you think Triple H and TKO kind of learned some lessons on how they book things? And do you think they have something big for the summer? I really would hope so. but it's just going to be interesting to see how they continue to move things forward and if they've learned any lessons from how they booked WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, if they take lessons from night one, having the matches be too short, but if they book more like night two, that's a good sign because that's a sign of more consistency if they can book more like how night two was.
Right. Exactly.
Because night two was like what we want to see.
Right. Absolutely. But what I want to see is everyone following us on all of our social medias, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, MySpace, AIM, Yahoo. We need you guys. We need you following us at Lace Them Up Sports. Please, guys, come on, let's up these numbers. We can do better with these numbers. Let's get them up. Spread the word about pro wrestling. Spread the word about our podcast to any and all loved ones. Uh, and
Oh, there's one thing you had forgot you wanted to to
oh,
mention.
I did want to mention
You
Darby
wanted to
Allin
mention
winning.
Darby Allin winning the AEW World Title from NJF
That's right. That's
in a
right.
squash match.
Right.
Um,
You know.
in a it was one of those very like feel good moments, because it's like it's Darby Allin and he's a guy who's worked really hard to, get to where he's at. He's loved by the fans.
Mhm.
Um, is it going to be a long title reign? Probably not. But it was more so a feel good moment, like oh, he finally got his moment. Um, so
Yeah, I think
congrats
Darby,
to Darby
yeah,
Allin.
you summarized it really, really well. I mean, Darby Allin's a guy that has, I mean, he wears the banner of AEW on his chest. I mean, the guy hiked up Mount Everest and put an AEW flag up there. It's crazy. And just the sheer amount of brutality he has put his body through for that company. It's a guy that he's a guy that's more than deserving of having that title. And, obviously it could be just for a little bit or it could be something that, could extend. But obviously everyone's thinking it's just going to be for the time being. Whichever the case is, he's certainly deserving of being AEW World Champion. And I think that Darby winning the title is good for the sport. It's good for the company. It's good for people that just to look at Darby Allin and think, man, that guy is world champion. I could be world champion.
I've seen a lot of people draw comparisons to Mankind winning the WWE Championship on
Yeah,
Raw.
yeah.
I don't know if I would go that far. I could see that I understand the comparisons.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of comparisons there. It's not doing the amounts of big business it's that Mankind and The Rock did. Certainly doesn't have the exposure like that, but yeah. I mean, that's a good comparison to make. I think, but
Yeah, especially if someone's like, oh, he's like a hard worker, loved by fans, but he's not like necessarily like the biggest star. But it
mhm,
even goes to show you like, hey, not even the ones who aren't the biggest stars can win the world title.
right. And I think, sets up MJF for, to win back the world title at Double or Nothing or whichever pay-per-view is going to be coming up for AEW. But yeah.
It's definitely better than when Jinder Mahal won the WWE
Oh
Championship.
gosh, let's not remind anybody watching WWE during that period. This that's a period everybody wants to forget. But all right. Please don't forget to subscribe to all of our channels, at Lace 'em Up Sports. We really need your help in fulfilling our audience and upping our numbers in terms of subscribers. LA Sports Roundup podcast will be coming back out this week, talking all things Lakers. Lakers are up 2-0 in their best of 7 series first round matchup against the Houston Rockets. The Dodgers.
In a much more competitive game too compared to game one.
Exactly. The Dodgers are just continuously doing their thing. It's not even the Dodgers are just the best team in baseball. It's not even comparable. The Angels are still a joke. Um, the Rams have also changed their uniforms per se a little bit, changed their logo a little bit. We'll get into that.
Brighter
That's
colors.
yeah.
It's pretty much just brighter colors than the old school horns.
Exactly. But we'll get into that all up on the new LA Sports Roundup podcast if you guys are into that kind of thing. But yeah, thank you again for joining us. Any last words, Ryan?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. Just thank you for the support. We couldn't do it without you. Continue to, to spread the word, like, share, repost, whatever it takes. We love doing this, and we wouldn't be doing this without your guys' support. So thank you again for all the support. Now, oh boy, you zooming in on the eye there. At least your eye doesn't look like Cody's.
You better subscribe. You better subscribe.
At least your eye doesn't look like Cody's, because that would you would probably be turning off a lot of cameras if
You
your
better
eye
subscribe,
looked like
or
Cody's.
else, or else.
Well, you gotta do the Undertaker eye roll thing.
Anyways,
You should try that, the Undertaker eye roll.
or else. All right. Until then, answer us. I